What's going on YouTube and cryptocurrency family? My name is Harry. I'm the Crypto Vet. Thank you for tuning back in. Sorry again for the videos being sparse and far and in between. I said I'm still trying to take care of things, and now with the holidays coming up, dealing with all of that. But I'm back here and we give you my update on the market and how I think things are going today. Kind of getting mixed signals, but we're going to go over everything today. So if you like that, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter where I post anything and in between on cryptocurrency and sometimes charts, live trades, things like that. Join the Discord where I post even more charts since I don't want to just flood Twitter with a ton of crap and just because the amount of hate on this platform is mind-blowing. But Discord link is in there, and I'm also streaming on Twitch, so come check me out on there. But let's go ahead and get started here. CoinMarketCap today, we're seeing a lot of red, kind of bearish right now, but like I said, we're going to go over that here. Bitcoin around 19.1, Ethereum's 580, XRP just below 50 cents. As far as the biggest gainers, we have Monero up 155. Monero has been going crazy. Last time when I started getting into Monero, it was around $70 or $80. Now we're at 156. Shh, stop your barking. Hey, shh. All right. And then as far as the biggest losers here, XRP being one of the biggest ones, and then NEM and Stellar. So let's go ahead and take a look here. So right here I have Bitcoin on the weekly chart, and just so I can answer some questions here, I had some questions in the Discord, when would I flip bearish, when is things bearish for me, and when will I overall go, okay, we're going to be going down. So I want to just reiterate that I do think we are in a bull market, and that this is just the beginning, but nothing can go straight up. There are going to be corrections. There's going to be shakeouts. There's going to be big drops. A lot of people get overextended on leveraged trades, thinking like, "Yep, I know for sure it's going to go up." And it's not that you're wrong. It's just your timing is wrong. Everything in this game is timing, and for me, I'm betting on the long term. So part of the reason why I don't trade every day is just because anything can happen when the market volatility starts to go crazy, and I'm not about to leverage the money that I've put into this over the years just to watch it disappear on a big leverage trade. So what I have here is I have the weekly chart on Bitcoin, and I drew a trend line going all the way back here from April of 2017 when we started around this first big bull market, the one that blew everybody's mind. And by drawing this trend line here, we can see that we had a drop below it, and we were bearish. We came up, kind of got above it, we held, and then we dropped below. We came up, tested it. This is the confirmation test that shows that this is a very strong trend line, both for support and resistance. And then we had our big Corona dump, which we could have potentially gone above that at the time, but things change in the world. And then we came up, we had resistance again, and it wasn't until we broke above it here that things went really crazy. On the other hand here, I have another trend line, which was our long-term resistance, going back from December of 2017 all the way down to here, right? When we broke through it here, we had a little bit of test, rejected. We came down to our 20 weekly exponential moving average, found a good balance, and we've been above it ever since. So this is kind of where I'm using some of my big long-term technical trend lines to dictate whether or not I'm bullish or bearish. Being above the weekly and the daily exponential moving average is very bullish for me, which we can see here by this light blue line, which if I take it off here, you can see that neither of those are there. But if we go ahead and put on just the weekly, it's this darker blue one, and we've been above this since April of this year. And if we go ahead and add on the daily, we've been above that and stayed above it since around September. And we have been holding it very, very steady. When we've had dumps, we've come down to test this, which we've seen happen very, very frequently during the previous bull rally, right? If you kind of just stare at this, it's like, oh man, we're in this first little wave here, right? So if we were to extend this up, we could see huge, huge gains. But you can also see that during this time, we also had little drops where it came down below it, tested on the weekly exponential moving average before we came back up real quick. And these tests were only 1 to 2 weeks at best, right? Well, we haven't come down to test this weekly exponential moving average yet. But even if we do come down to test it, which could be a price of $14,000 to $16,000 Bitcoin, still not bearish in the long term. But when it comes to being bullish or bearish, it really comes down to what time frame you're looking at, and that's why I always want to zoom out. So like big picture, we're still bullish. We're not bearish yet, right? Price is still really high. It's still currently trading at above where the weekly candle closes were at the highest of all time in Bitcoin. So if we came back down right now to test it on the 20 weekly exponential moving average, we're still looking at around $14,000 to $16,000 Bitcoin. Let's say that doesn't hold. Well, this trend line right here that comes all the way back from before, all these little touches here show that this was very strong resistance in the past. Here it was support, here it was support. So if we come down, even if we don't hold on the weekly exponential moving average, we still have just below that now, which is going to be close to just around $14,000, $13,500, depending on how many weeks it takes to consolidate, either drop down or go up. So until we break below the 20 the 20 EMA or below this trend line, I'm not going to flip to bearish. So let's take that information. We can go ahead and zoom out some more and take those lines off. So if we do a trend-based fib extension on here, this is going all the way back to a low, previous high, and then next low. We can see right now, if I zoom in, that we were trading above the 0.786. My dogs. So we're trading above the 0.786 fib line here. So I would expect that if we were to come down now, that we would hold pretty strong around 18.4, and that's also the 20 daily exponential moving average. If we were to drop down again, we're looking at 15.2 is a very strong fib support, and we also will have the weekly exponential moving average coming right around this area. So if we were to have some drops, some corrections, I don't really think we've had big corrections yet. I don't think it is fully corrected yet, and I still am expecting that drop. If that doesn't happen and say we pump up, well, I'll just expect the correction to be still the same percentage-wise, just from whatever current price that is. So let's take all that information we have. We have the weekly, got our full picture of Bitcoin and where trends, resistance, strengths are. And we now know that we had the line there, 14,000 to 16,000, very strong. We have a fib line here. We've got all the exponential moving averages, so that's long-term bullish, okay? But now, if we zoom in, we went all the way down. We'll take this one here first. I'm getting ahead of myself. And we come down here to the daily. On the daily here, we saw that when we came, we're getting good support. If we came below, beautiful little hammer curl there, and we pump back up. The problem I see here is we have a high, higher high, and now what are we forming? We're finding a slightly lower high, and this is very common of a potential trend reversal going to happen. We were overbought here on the RSI on the weekly, but that ain't shit. If we come back here, look how often we were staying up here during these bull runs. So that doesn't worry me very much. However, this is starting to get a little worrisome because we tried to come up, we bounced twice off of the moving average, but this time we're not quite getting higher than we did before. And if we were to come back down to here, it's looking to me like a little head and shoulders. We don't have to have a perfect, flat neckline to make a head and shoulders. We could just say, and I just drew this trend line just all willy-nilly, but say we're coming up from here, this is the neckline. We could come back down. If we don't hold support on the 20 daily exponential moving average, as well as this fib line here, the 0.786, we could see a drop equivalent to the pump going in, which I think for sure would bring us down to around 15,100 on this fib, or at least, or even further, to the weekly exponential moving average. So that's the bearish scenario. We're starting to see some bearish indicators. We are in bearish territory on the RSI for the daily. or sorry, the MACD, and then on the RSI, you know, we're pretty level. If we zoom in even more, this same picture, I'll just illustrate what we had on the other one. We have the high, higher high, and then not quite a higher high, but we could also be forming a symmetrical triangle in continuation to the pump, so there's still a chance that we go up. So, you know, these are just things to take into account. Let me go back to this cursor, move this out of our way. You know, we can see that we were finding nice, strong little bounces. We had a double bottom here in the RSI. We had a really good pump. And now, you know, what are we doing? We're potentially going to consolidate further downwards. So, you know, anything can happen from here. You know, lots of good news in the world right now with the vaccine being released. The stock market is reacting as such. So, you know, we could potentially still see a really, really big pump and Bitcoin go crazy. But just remember that there is room for correcting. A lot of people get wrecked trying to over leverage these things. Big institutions are waiting for this dump so they can buy up. So just don't get scared. You know, if people are running away with their money, that's when you get greedy. When people are greedy, that's when you sell. Right, so just take that into account. So, and then just a quick look at XRP. XRP on the daily, we've been trading in this kind of a descending channel as well as a descending triangle at the same time for the last, how long has this been? We've been 20 days, and this is potentially bearish, but I don't think that is going to be what occurs. And let me go ahead and, where was my other tool at? Where the hell's the channel? Am I on the wrong one? Here we go. So, just the same deal, but we've kind of went below it, but we've been trading in this little descending channel for now. But we're finding support here right around 50 to 49 cents. You know, typically a descending triangle will break to the down, has more likelihood to break to the downside. If it did break to the downside, I don't think we would drop below our weekly exponential moving average. My guess would be 34, 35 cents would be the most bearish scenario. But right now, if Bitcoin were to pump, I do think that XRP would slightly pump with it, but depending on how much Bitcoin pumps, the devaluation of it could cause it to go even lower. So right now we're waiting, but within the next 2 to 3 days, we are going to see some sort of move on XRP. You know, hopefully we get above this descending trend line, get above the daily exponential moving average, and potentially go all the way up to my price target of $1. XRP tends to lag behind other cryptos, just like many of the alts do, but XRP tends to be the one that lags the most. Zooming in, we can see the same symmetrical triangle here. We've gotten really, really good support here. However, you know, we don't know if this is going to hold. My personal opinion is that it will, and that we will go up. However, I think we might see a little bit of a drop down below. That's just what XRP does. So we'll see just a little bit drop down. It'll get bought up real fast. We'll come back up above, confirm the previous resistance as support, and go from there. But we'll kind of have to see how it goes. I'm a long-term holder of XRP. The trading I do is with less than 10% of my total XRP holdings, and I just do it for fun. So, you know, a trade for this, if you were trying to long, I would say low leverage. That way you could at least get below 40 cents, 40 to 42 cents in your stop loss. And, you know, I would more likely long than short, but that's just my personal opinion. This is not financial advice. I'm a doctor/idiot, so take it as a grain of salt. But that's my take on the market for today. I said I'll try to be back in tomorrow to give you more updates, and if anything crazy happens, I'll let you know. And I'll keep answering the questions on the Spark airdrop, because I know a lot of people were curious on where their tokens are. This can take up to 6 months because allocations has to be set and other Ripple addresses have to be taken out of it. So just be patient and don't take your XRP out of whatever exchange you did use for the airdrop. But that's going to do it. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.